He was the first and last emperor of the United States. The people adored him, and his decrees were always met with enthusiasm. He issued his own currency and visited the best theaters and restaurants for free. Of course, His Majesty was just a self-proclaimed emperor and a city madman, but few rulers managed to get so much love and respect from their subjects. In the memory of the people, he remained as Norton I, the first and last emperor of America. Good day, friends. Today, I will tell an interesting and unusual story about an unusual person. Before watching, please subscribe to the channel and don't forget to like it. Joshua Abraham Norton was born in 1815 in London to a family of industrialists and merchants. When he was still very young, his British clan moved to South Africa, where they settled quite well. Upon reaching adulthood, Abraham received $40,000 from his father and his father's blessing, or perhaps curse, to seek his fortune in America. Having settled in San Francisco, Abraham did quite well for himself. Putting his father's money into circulation, he quickly became a local businessman. He was most attracted to real estate and stocks, but they didn't ruin the aspiring capitalist. In the 1950s, Norton decided to go all in and become a food monopolist on the San Francisco Stock Exchange. At that time, a famine broke out in China and rice supplies stopped. Grain prices rose almost tenfold, and Abraham decided to play on this fact by buying up in Peru. It turned out that the same idea came to almost every other Californian, so there was no speculation, and the businessman lost out. Having run out of money, Abraham Norton soon lost his mind. His madness manifested itself in an incredible, impenetrable delusion of grandeur. By 1860, he had completely lost his mind and declared himself the Emperor of the United States of America, claiming to be a descendant of the French Bourbon dynasty. He claimed that he had been placed in a British family at a young age for his own safety. Norton went to the San Francisco Bulletin newspaper and asked them to publish a document stating that he was now the legitimate Emperor of the United States. The editor of the publication, John Fitch, saw not just the ravings of a madman, but also an excellent story, so the statement of ascension to the throne was actually printed. Thus began the reign of Norton I, which lasted for 21 years. In any other city in the world, a character like Abraham would have been forgotten and lived a miserable life as a homeless person. But mid-19th century, San Francisco was a unique case. The locals liked the madman so much that he soon became a beloved figure. His harmlessness and absolute confidence in his abilities won over Californians from the time of the gold rush, who themselves came here for quick money and power. Norton I dressed in strange military-style outfits, but with the most ridiculous feathered plumes, and his entourage consisted of two court dogs, Bummer and Lazarus. The locals played along with His Majesty for 2 decades, greeting him with joyful cheers and smiles. Even the police paid him respect and reported to him as if he were their boss. The City Hall even gave Abraham the right to issue his own money, which was cashed by the city government. In addition, the monarch was granted a lifelong right to use public transport for free, even ships, but His Majesty preferred to walk or ride a bicycle. As the Emperor of the United States, Norton was engaged in doing all sorts of cute and silly things. For example, he granted noble titles to those who performed good deeds. Norton was welcomed everywhere, and any doors were opened for him and his pack of dogs. Restaurants and theaters reserved seats for him, for which he never paid. It is understandable. Establishments with the sign, "Visited by His Majesty Emperor Norton I," never had problems with visitors. But in addition to constantly inspecting the city and the police, the autocrat was also involved in political activities. He tried to marry Queen Victoria, sent telegrams to the Russian Tsar, and issued decrees. The latter themselves became legends. Barely ascending the throne, Norton ordered the dissolution of the US Congress and the banning of the Democratic and Republican parties. In addition, the monarch tried to reconcile and enlighten his fellow citizens, demonstrating unexpected tact and political acumen. During the Civil War, he alternately wore grey and blue uniforms, stating that he did not want to support either side in the fratricidal war. In the same way, Norton expressed his position on religion. Every week he visited churches of different denominations, thereby not wanting to offend anyone. He also proposed the creation of an international organization to resolve conflicts and the construction of a bridge from San Francisco to Oakland. The emperor stated that this would be a very beneficial step in terms of infrastructure. At that time, people laughed at him, but now both the bridge and the United Nations do not surprise anyone. Norton died in early 1880 at the age of 21 during his brilliant reign. His death was dignified. He was going to a meeting of the Academy of Sciences and presumably suffered a heart attack. The whole city mourned, and about 30,000 people, out of a total population of about 200,000 in San Francisco at that time, came to bid farewell to the emperor. That's all. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video.